right, everybody, welcome back to Versus Live. My name's Corey Baumeister.
And I'm Ross Marion.
All right, and we got Rob in the booth. Say what's up, Rob.
What's up, Rob?
All right, Rob will be taking all your questions, comments, concerns, and burns in the chat. Take at Star City Games if you want to send your favorite questions over to us. We'll do our best to answer them. All right, we are continuing our battle here with maybe like tier 2 strategies and moderns, kind of wacky decks, whatever you want to call them. They're decks you don't normally see when you're playing in modern challenges, modern PTQs. Modern leagues, it's the wild, wild west. You know, you can play against anything in here.
That's very true.
And this is a deck that I have always wanted to play. I've played against it a couple of times, but it just looks like the most fun to play ever. And I either would crush my opponent because they don't set up their counterbalance or whatever right away, or they would just absolutely destroy me over a long game, and it would just look like the most fun. So I am playing Blue-White Miracles. It's a flashback to a deck that used to be really, really popular. Now able to play just a free companion just because we don't have any creatures. You know, doesn't come up that often realistically, but, you know, occasionally.
Yeah, you definitely could just cast it in the late game. This is a deck that Aspiring Spike initially brewed, and you know, it's funny. He takes donations to like brew around cards or play different decks, and somebody donated to his stream and asked him to build around Counterbalance in Modern. Yeah, and so he did, and he played the deck and was like, actually, I think this deck is really good. And tuned it up, and he top 8'd at a Modern Challenge, and 2 days later, that Monday, played the Super Qualifier, won the Super Qualifier
with it.
Yeah, with this deck. Wow. So back-to-back very good finishes. Yeah, and now it's just been around, and it is an established thing. Yeah, Counterbalance is.
Well, then we can't play it. This is tier 2 deck.
Counterbalance is very good against Lurrus decks. Yeah, their curves are always so condensed. Counterbalance works incredibly well with Mystic Sanctuary. You just get to put any spell from your graveyard on top with the trigger on the stack. Also works really well with Terminus. Omen of the Sea is great with Counterbalance. Yep. Just lets you manipulate the top of your deck even more, and it's just a good cantrip in the deck.
Sometimes leads you to have to keep maybe a bad card, because if you see something with a converted mana cost that's matching what your opponent's going to play, you've got to keep whatever that other card is, you know, which is usually fine.
So you are, reducing the quality of a draw step to get a full card out of your opponent.
To get a full card.
Good
exactly, yep.
And, the deck is really powerful when it gets humming. You see all the same cards you typically see in these blue decks: Archmage's Charm, Force of Negation, Cryptic Command. Yep. It's got a couple Logic Knots at the low end. Path, Terminus are why you're in white. Yep. And then 1 Entreat the Angels as a finisher, and Jace the Mind Sculptor, obviously another great card with Miracles.
Just the best Jace deck too. I mean, Jace has not seen the splash in Modern like we thought it would. It just wasn't as good. 4 mana is just a lot. Teferi Time Reveler is almost just better in most of these style of decks, but this version is a lot better because you are setting up your Terminuses, you are setting up your Counterbalance counterspells for what you expect your opponent to play. So yeah, really, really cool deck. But you got a cool one as well.
Yeah, this is a deck that Tom Ross has put in a lot of work tuning and playing to some success on Magic Online. Yeah. And we've affectionately termed it Hammer Time.
Hammer Time. Stop. Hammer Time.
It is essentially very close to Infect. That's the deck. That's what you want to think when you look at this deck. It is Boros.
So we got to have this on here for tribute when we do this, huh?
Well, sometimes you don't often kill with Infect creatures. It's only Inkmoth Nexus. Yeah. But the entire goal is to combo with Colossus Hammer. Yeah. And put it on creatures that create an insta kill. So there's Swiftblade Vindicator is a one of. There's 4 copies of Inkmoth Nexus. There's 4 copies of Core Duelist. So 1 mana 1/1 that gets double strike when it's equipped. Yep. So this deck can actually kill on turn 2. Yeah. Turn 1 Core Duelist, turn 2, and you need the Colossal Hammer and either Sigarda's Aid, which lets you equip for free, or Magnetic Theft, which lets you equip for free, and those both cost 1 mana. So any of those can set up a turn 2 kill, but the deck is fairly resilient because of Stoneforge Mystic and so much redundancy, and your Lurrus. Because your deck naturally plays Lurrus. So it's an impressive deck. I played a little bit with it. I ran a league with it like a week ago. Sure. For funsies. 3-2 the league.
Hey, that's some people. Well, we'll take it. That's a very average result.
Yeah, so perfect for this show. Hopefully, I just got to turn to you a couple times. I didn't do that in my 5 matches.
You didn't. Okay, let's make sure you don't do that.
I think I turned 3'd once or twice.
Or at least if you're going to turn 2 me, make it be through a counterbalance, and I have to get unlucky.
I've played against the Miracles deck twice with Zombie Copter. Yeah. I won both matches, and the one game I lost, they blind flipped their counterbalance 4 times. Yes. In a single game.
Yes. Well, you can blind flip it as many times as you want, But they hit.
Yeah, they hit on the blind flip 4 times.
Oh my God, that's brutal.
It was Well, there are a few decks that are just more overtly frustrating than counterbalanced Terminus decks, because when they draw well, you know it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And there's like nothing you can do about it. Okay. I mean, I think I'm going to keep this.
I will also keep.
I think I want to just start with this and pass to you.
I will go to 18 and play a Core Duelist.
Okay.
Your turn.
Draw. All right. Well, what do we want to do here? I think we are just getting counterbalanced down. If we want to do this turn one, I am in. Now, let's see. Do I want to be getting any other color land? I think I only really need one white source, so we're just going to get a snow land, and I'll pass to you.
There is one basic plains in the deck, but you want to avoid getting it.
Yeah, because Mystic Sanctuary does not work too well with that one.
I will cast Colossus Hammer.
Trigger. All right, you want to cut?
Sure.
Trigger. Oh.
Attack 4.
Okay.
4 damage. Magnetic Theft.
Oh my god! My god. I had the path too. I could have just held up and been more a little bit slower about it.
If you had held up mana, I would have played Spellskite.
Yeah. And then that's pretty rough for me. Then I kind of have to path that.
Then you path this, and then I probably just play Swiftblade Vindicator. Maybe I just try to 10 you with the Spellskite, but
wow. So I just casually took 22 damage here?
Yeah.
Wow.
I took 1 to 17 though. And that's how the deck works.
Wow. Well,
my creature loses flying, though.
Oh, thank God.
It is kind of annoying sometimes with Inkmoth Nexus against any kind of blocker. So Kaheera might be relevant in that regard.
Yeah, I played against it before where I just had creatures to block with it. Like I was playing Cat, believe it or not, and I just had like Seasoned Pyromancer tokens, and I'm like, wow, this deck can never beat me.
Well, so with Sigarda's Magnetic Theft's an instant, and Sigarda's lets you cast the equipment as those had flash, and then equip for free when an equipment enters the battlefield.
Yeah.
So with Inkmoth Nexus, you can attack, have them declare no blocks because it flies, and then equip it instant speed a few different ways.
Yeah.
But if you core Outfitter, that one only operates at sorcery speed.
Yeah.
Which are your 3 ways to equip a Colossus.
All right. Well, I guess I lost game 1. That was we had just begun, but
we've only just begun.
I guess we're gonna go to sideboarding to see what's going on. We'll see you at sideboarding for Versus Live. All right, welcome back to sideboarding, at least for one of us here on Versus Live. I am not changing a single card. I don't know if it's just the way that this matchup is not really prepared for this specific deck or what, but none of these are really good. Normally my anti-aggro card would be Timely Reinforcements and Purges, and they're great, up against the red decks that are trying to kill you or the aggressive black decks, but you're not really an aggro deck. You're more of a combo deck, and those type of cards just do not really do anything. Timely actually is okay because there are just like chump blockers if you don't have trample. It's reasonable. That could buy me a lot of time. But other than that, I don't think there was any considerations,
Yeah, and even that is not great.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's only just buying you a little bit of time. It's not really gaining you any traction.
Exactly.
And you have the Kaheera for at least 1 blocker if you want it at some point.
Yeah. I think I'm just going to present the same 60. It worked so well for me game 1. I just think I'm going to run that.
Counterbalance down. You're in good shape. And
I did what I was supposed to do.
Now we're here,
right?
and nobody knows what happened in between.
I have no idea. I fell asleep, I think.
Yeah. So. On my side, Grand Abolisher is the real coup from our sideboard. Just stops all your interaction points except for fetch land, find Mystic Sanctuary in response to a counterbalance trigger.
Oh,
so that's something that Corey can do because Abolisher does not stop activated abilities of lands, but it stops him from pathing and terminusing on my turn, from casting any other manipulation. It even stops him from sacrificing Omen of the Sea with a counterbalance trigger on the stack because you can't activate abilities of enchantments. So really, really good here against counterspell heavy decks. And then I'm bringing in some wear tears just for the tear half.
Wait, so this does stop counterbalance?
No, it doesn't stop counterbalance from triggering normally.
Oh, okay.
So if you set it up on your turn, you're fine.
Gotcha, but I can't really set it up.
Yeah, you can't respond to anything I'm doing with anything other than a fetch land.
Okay, gotcha.
And then wear tear to deal with counterbalance. There's very little spot removal in Corey's deck, just Path to Exile. So I don't need the full 8 protection creatures. I'm choosing to bring out Giver just to keep my curve a little more balanced between 1s and 2s, and because Spellskite, can activate immediately. Yeah. With your pass, you should give me some extra lands to work with. If I'm not winning early and the game's drawing on, then this being a 1-drop and being cheaper, I don't think it's going to be as relevant, whereas the advantages of Spellskite will be. Okay. And then I'm bringing out one of the 2 Shadow Spears. Just not very many blockers out of Corey's deck. We're still going to have the 1 to maybe get through the Kaheera if I need to. Yeah,
don't really need 2 of that when you are a Stoneforge package deck.
Exactly. Yeah. We can just find it with our Stoneforge Mystics.
All right. Well, that game did not go my way, and that was still kind of cool, but still unpleasant.
It's hammer time.
Good old hammer time. All right, Rob, do you got any questions for us?
Yeah, somebody was asking if they were looking at getting into Modern, what do you think they should start with that isn't like on the more expensive side of the format?
Okay, so don't get Yorion Copycat Fires, because that deck is probably the most expensive deck you could possibly have. I would say it's got to be some Lurrus deck, huh?
I don't think Rakdos Prowess is a very expensive deck.
Rakdos Prowess, yeah, good point. Rakdos Prowess is aggressive. It's very powerful. Yeah, so look up Canister's deck that we even played on Tuesday, so you can scroll up on the Star City Games Twitter account and find the Rakdos Prowess deck we played. That seems like a great deck to start with.
Yeah, the mana base, basically any mana base you get in Modern is going to have some fetch lands and some dual lands that are expensive.
The Cliffs are probably the only most expensive thing,
and then your 1 Lurrus. The rest of that main deck, like Soulscar Mage, can't be that much. Abbot's not very much.
No. Yeah, that deck seems really cheap.
Take Commands might be up there. I'm not sure. Yeah. They used to be for sure.
Yeah, I don't know too much about prices too often. I just usually before a tournament be like, okay, I will buy those because I have to have them to play in this tournament. And then I'm like, they're how much? I thought this card was $5.
That seems like the place to start to me, because
that seems like a good
one of the best decks.
Yeah, Prowess or Red-White Burn. Red-White Lurrus Burn, I think, is really good as well. Another cheapish deck that is very competitive. So,
yep.
All right, let's do this. Let's see if I can.
Yorion decks.
Yeah, definitely not Yorion decks. All right, let's see if I can live past turn 2.
Seems unlikely, but
yeah. Well, this hand wouldn't live through that same draw, but.
I'm mulliganing my hand.
Okay.
I don't have a second land. I don't have any hammer or way to find hammer in the sand, so
I'm gonna keep this. It's a little risky, of course, but we have a lot of ways to find what we need here. So
I mean, that's the secret for me beating you on Versus Live, because you keep so many risky hands. If I just play a bunch of glass cannon decks to kill you on turn 2, I just punish you for those risky keeps every time.
Oh yeah. No, that seems correct.
Yeah, I'm just gonna start playing Cheerios decks, and I saw
you're gonna metagame against me for Versus Live. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, Michael Majors.
I'm just gonna play every glass cannon deck. Infect every day.
Then I'm gonna play every glass casket deck. What then?
I would gladly play Infect against glass caskets.
All right, how is your 6? Any better? Well, let's go to 5. 5. 4. 3.
This hand is 2 pieces away, right, from being good. But I have a cantrip and one of these lands. It's going to be slow, but I really don't want to mulligan to 5. It's not a good hand.
Pass to you.
I'll run with it. That's an interesting draw. Very interesting. I will play a Sigarda's Aid.
Okay, I will go to 17. That's the one that allows you to just re-equip immediately.
I get to play Aura and equipment spells, so they have flash.
Okay.
And when an equipment enters the battlefield under my control, I can attach it to target creature I control.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm going to go to 17.
And opt.
Bottom. Draw. Untap.
Yep.
Draw. I'm going to start with an opt. I will keep this.
Play a land.
I will play a land. And pass to you.
I will play Stoneforge Mystic.
Stoneforge Mystic, huh? Yep, that resolves.
I'll get a Colossus Hammer and pass the turn. I have drawn very well on these first 2 turns.
Have you?
Well, my first draw was this one. The second draw was this one. Just playing off the top every turn. And now I'm actually threatening to kill Corey on turn 3.
And I am just drawing so bad. All right, I'm going to play this. I'm going to play Teferi. I don't think I die with this, but I easily could die. I think I have to bounce the correct thing, and I don't think the correct thing to bounce is Stoneforge Mystic here, actually. So if I bounce the aid, you can replay the aid and animate, but you don't have enough land to... But if I bounce this, then you can go land, equip, or animate, and then hammer time me and actually kill me. So I think that's my only choice.
Yes.
So I'll bounce
You're
that.
dead to a land if you don't have bouncing.
Okay. Pass to you. God, our draws have been awkward.
Okay. I will attack the Teferi.
Okay.
I will... play Sigarda's Aid.
Okay.
And play a Spellskite.
All right.
And pass the turn.
Well, we're in trouble. What is the best way to do this? I think my best hope is to play a Teferi, bounce Spellskite, and I'll pass to you.
So you're dead to a land.
Maybe. Maybe. I got cards I can cast when I'm tapped out.
One of them's Force a Negation.
Yeah.
But I have Stoneforge Mystic. So activate.
Sure.
Attack you.
Okay.
Take 1, activate Stoneforge Mystic.
Okay.
Put in Hammer, trigger Aid.
Yeah, I didn't have it anyways. I needed to top deck a land to just have path. You can do that through Teferi, right?
Yeah, you can activate the Stoneforge.
All right.
This is just a triggered ability. Yeah, if you had another path, then I'm forced to keep replaying the Spellskite, attack the Teferi down. But Inkmoth is so hard for you to deal with. Then you have to find a Terminus for these.
Every time I opt, when I needed a land, I bottomed and then drew a Terminus. I'm just like, wow, I cannot be doing this, right? All right.
All right. I kept 5 land Spellskite.
Yeah. Oh my god.
One of the lands was Inkmoth Nexus.
5 land Spellskite I would have destroyed. I just had 2 Teferis and I got to my 3rd land.
I drew Sigarda's Aid, Stoneforge Mystic, Wear a Tear off the top.
Oh my god, you're so lucky.
This deck is great.
Yeah. All right. Well, it looks like we have plenty of time to stretch this to a 3 of 5. So
we do indeed have plenty of time.
I gotta at least do my thing once here. This is absurd. But honestly, I mean, even just the fact that if I would have drawn extra lands, it would have helped a lot. But you were getting to a point there where you just had so many angles closed that you were just closing doors on what I could actually do.
Yeah.
So.
But if you ever hit a Terminus there on my turn, that would be the big thing.
Yeah.
So and if you hit the lands earlier, then you can afford to start opting on my turn.
Exactly. Yeah.
And if you happen to hit it, one of the big things with playing this deck is always trying to put yourself in a position to get lucky.
Yeah.
As much as possible with Terminus. And that means, opting on my turn whenever you can.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you're light on lands, you got to opt on your own turn. So.
Yeah, I kept a 1 land over 2 ops and an Omen of the Sea, but, here we are. But it had Teferi, so I stand by it.
It is only a 22 land deck.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have been as...
and 3 of them are Mystic Sanctuaries.
Hey, that's the best one. All right, I got to at least counter something with counterbalance here with this. Otherwise, that's...
Do you?
Oh, I do. All right, I'll be on the play for the 3rd game. Try not to get crushed again. Yeah, sounds a keeper.
I have Core Outfitter Colossal Hammer again, but no lands.
All right.
And Sigarda's Aid. If I kept that hand and just rattled the land off the top,
I'd probably have died.
I mean, you're playing with house money right now anyway, so you should have just kept that one.
Yeah, you really should have. Yeah, you're free rolling.
what I need to do is have Corey win this game, but have it take forever. So then we have to just move on.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So yeah, for me to win, keep the marbles on this show, I have to win 3 quick games here. Which,
so you got any questions for us, Rob?
Yeah, no, Rob, questions are closed right now.
Actually, I don't know. I did have one interesting one.
Let's take it. I'm mulliganing.
Rob's gonna mulligan to 2 just to get shuffle time in.
So Diagenic asked, you both have been pretty adamant that Modern is in a good place right now. And you said you're seeing a lot of variety and everything, but there's also been, I've seen, at least on Twitter, a decent contingent that thinks Modern is in a really bad place. So what is it exactly about the format that you think, one, is creating that kind of dichotomy, and 2, why are you feeling so good about it?
Well, I can see, I'll take the start of this. I can see both sides. People would probably think Modern's in a bad place if you hate good games, you hate deck variety, you hate interesting sideboard decisions. No, I'm joking. But honestly, I mean, that is what I do think is Modern right now. I think the games are always really good. There is a lot of variety in what decks there are. I think what people focus on too much when it comes to Modern is just what you see originally right here at the start of the game. You see that there's a lot of Lurrus. You see there's a lot of Yorion. And you're just like, oh, great, another Lurrus or another Yorion deck. But there's like 6 different decks of each one. So I think that's where people find negative aspects of Modern. And I don't really get it because I've just been experiencing a huge deck variety, and it seems great to me. But
I agree that a lot of the negativity is focused on companions.
Yeah.
And in particular, Yorion and Lurrus.
Mm-hmm.
I think when we made those statements about Modern being really good, it was a couple weeks ago. The metagame has condensed a little since then. I think we've seen Rakdos Prowess and Temur Scapeshift become the premier Lurrus and Yorion decks. And I think they're, in terms of popularity and success, they're above everything else, and that is starting to become a problem. I also think some of the gameplay is getting a little repetitive with Lurrus and Yorion.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's where a lot of the criticisms are coming from. Mm-hmm. But I do think overall the gameplay is still quite fun.
Yeah.
The question is whether or not it can maintain that for a long period of time.
Yeah.
And we always said
the metagame can shift and beat these Scapeshift, beat these prowess decks, which I think it can. I think Modern has enough cards, and I think you're able to find a deck that beats those 2 decks. It is kind of the broad spectrum, so it is hard to beat both those decks with a deck, and that is kind of where we're running into some troubles where...
Yeah, it's really tough to beat both those decks.
Yeah.
So the issues that we were a little worried about and tempered our praise for Modern have popped up a little bit, and I think that's where the criticism is coming from.
Yeah.
So, I still think Modern is in a good place right now.
Yeah.
But I would not be surprised if it is in a pretty bad place in 2 months.
Yeah. Could be.
We could just have 2 more months of these decks sitting at the top, and then action will need to be taken.
Or new set comes out, right? 2 months. That's got to be around new set time.
Probably.
Yeah.
So
the new core set's coming out fairly soon.
Yeah, because Ikoria was in such a weird spot where it's backed up that we're already like a month and a half in, right? I'm guessing a month and a half. Is core set the next?
It was like we're a month in, and then I believe previews for the core set start in a few weeks. So
okay. Yeah. So
let's go.
It'll be interesting to see how the metagame reacts to those things at the top.
Yeah.
And hopefully they do react well, but they could just sit there for a little while.
Here's the thing is I do think they're going to sit there for a while because now the focus, basically everyone's queued for this first online Arena Pro Tour, just because we've been playing qualifiers way more, weekday qualifiers instead of just weekend qualifiers. And now everybody's focus is going to be on Standard for quite a while, for like the next month. So I wouldn't be shocked if Modern does stay in a little bit of a stale spot. Stale as in what it is now, right? Yeah. Like it is just going to kind of be the same because there's not going to be as much innovation when people aren't playing it a ton. People will just kind of sit into the decks they like and stuff like that. But, I think once there's a lot more Modern tournaments and stuff, it's still going to be fine. But I'm still loving it personally. But I can see it now that you brought up some good points.
I am also amenable to the idea that Modern has essentially 3 categories of decks. You can play a aggressively slanted fair deck that plays Lurrus, a controllingly slanted fair deck that plays Yorion, or a big mana / combo deck that tries to ignore what its opponent's doing, and those decks generally don't play companions. And the idea that if you want to play a fair game of Magic,
counter or combo decks like the one you're playing or ad nauseum, you know, you see that kind of.
Those are in that third category. This one happens to play Lurrus in it too, but that's more the exception. Instead, like ad nauseum doesn't have a companion. You know, none of the big mana decks really do. Though I have seen some Titan decks that play Gyruda.
Yeah,
they're not playing other Gyrudas to do any of that game plan. They just have a Gyruda that they can hit and maybe hit a Titan off of it.
They're just ramping from 2 to 4. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, though those decks don't get to play Dryad. They also don't get to play Dryad or Azusa. So it's really weird.
Yeah,
but I have seen them. So, that kind of sucks, to be honest. Like, I would like to be able to play a fair deck that doesn't play a companion.
Yeah, no, I agree. And that kind of Gyruda stuff, like, that's kind of the mark I think they were going for on companions. Sorry about the long rant here, but that is kind of the mark that they were going, right? Like, that is a huge setback. And like, these aren't that big of a setback with Yorion and Lurrus, so yeah. Shall we battle?
We shall. Okay. I will be keeping the 6. I'm missing one piece of the combo, but we have everything else rolled up, so I'll probably just draw it.
Yeah, you probably will. All right, pass to you.
Okay, I have a Core Duelist.
Okay.
You're up.
I will sack to 17. All right. Am I dead again? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me
I thought you were just going to snap past this thing.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about it. All right, I'll keep this card. Draw.
Yep.
All right.
You've got your Miracle Draw down.
Thank you. I'll pass to you.
Okay, attack for 1.
I'll take it. All right, I'm not dead.
Spell Skite.
Spell Skite. Okay.
So you're at 16.
Yep.
You can go.
Let's go with Path.
Okay, I'll get a Plains.
Okay.
Got plenty of basics in this deck.
Of course. All right.
Yeah, you generally want to just take your 1 mana Terminus.
Yeah.
A little annoying for it to have right after you path, but
yep, a little bit. Okay.
I think you'll still take it. So Duelist on the bottom.
And I'll pass to you.
And one of the nice things about this deck is all your removal doesn't put cards in the graveyard. So I'm looking over at this Lurrus.
It's not going to do too much, that's for sure.
Okay. Not going to be attacking with Inkmoth this turn into open white mana.
Okay.
So let's just crack a Canyon.
Okay.
I will play a Steel Shaper's Gift.
Steel Shaper's Gift resolves. Yep.
I'll find a Colossus Hammer.
Okay.
And I'm going to play a Sigarda's Aid.
Okay.
Pass the turn.
I'm going to crack this.
Brings you to 15.
Yep. And I'm going to play an Omen.
Yep.
Scry. Interesting. I'm going to put this on top and one on bottom.
Split on the scry.
Yep. Draw for my turn. Now... on a Mystic Sanctuary, I could Terminus, but that's just like an obvious thing I have. Plus, you don't have any cards worth taking right now. So I'm going to put a Path on top, and I'm going to pass to you. Yes. Hey, it's turn 4. This is uncharted territory for me right now, so I'm just happy to be here at this point.
So... I can obviously go for a kill. I have the Colossus Hammer. Corey knows about it. If I do that, I cannot beat Path in hand, Archmage's Charm in hand, Force of Negation in hand, Opt or Omen of the Sea in hand, or Cryptic Command in hand.
I could have those
4?
cards. I have 4, yeah.
I named basically your entire deck.
You can beat 4 counterbalances in my hand, though, with ease.
But this is kind of one of those. This is one of those matchups where, like, I think I just have to, repeatedly just try to kill you.
Yeah, usually. Otherwise, I will gain control. That is just what my deck does.
So, animate.
Okay.
Attack.
No blocks.
Hammer.
All right, I have things. I have to decide which thing I want to use.
So, hammer is on the stack.
Yeah. Let's go with Omen.
Yep.
I'll bottom this land. I'll keep the path, draw it, and yeah, we'll just path this.
That I'll get a plains.
Okay.
I will then play. Oh.
With all these omens, I've been like, okay, I could have a nice Yorion turn. I was like, wait.
You have 3 in hand right now?
3. Yep.
How did you leave both on top or?
No, top bottom.
Okay, so the other one you didn't like. So you don't know your top card. Let's just get the plains while I'm thinking about the rest of my turn. 3 cards in hand.
3 cards. You're just trying to think it out long to win by default here for these marbles, right?
Yes. I'm just going to play an Inspiring Vantage tapped.
Okay.
And pass the turn.
All right. Untap. Now let's go with a Teferi.
Yep.
Now let's see if I even want to bounce anything. There's really no haste threats, I would imagine. So
no.
So I'll just tick up and pass to you. Could have bounced an Omen. Bouncing an Omen actually probably would have been pretty sweet, but that's okay. I can take this slow and steady.
I will play Swift Blade Vindicator.
I'll spell pierce that.
Spell snare that.
Spell snare that. Excuse me.
Okay. Steel Shaper's Gift.
Okay.
Find another hammer.
Double hammer time?
Yeah. Find another hammer.
Some said it couldn't be done.
And then I will play a Sunbaked Canyon.
Okay.
And pass the turn.
All right. So just likely to sack that canyon. All right. I'm going to bounce an Omen.
Smart.
I'm going to play this. This is a deck where you want to leave your fetch lands as actual utility and not really get aggressively slanted for them. I am going to opt because I have an Omen. I'm going to keep that magical card. And once again, because there is no real threat of you having a haste threat, I am able to play this Jace the Mind Sculptor.
So you're going to 14?
Yep. My favorite. Oops, that was a 2. Okay, now I just really want to set up having some way to interact. Oh, I think if I had to do that. All right. I did this wrong. That's okay. Let's just go with a Brainstorm.
Yep.
I'll go like this and pass to you.
I had thought about not cracking this canyon so that I have 5 mana for Lurrus plus replay Vindicator, but you have a fetch land in play and Terminus in the graveyard. So if I do that, you're just Terminusing them away. So I think I need to find more Inkmoth Nexuses.
Yeah, that'd be a scary one.
I'll put the canyon on end step.
Okay.
And play a Stoneforge Mystic.
That resolves.
Trigger.
Okay.
With 2 hammers, I think I can afford now to get the Shadow Spear, seeing as that will get me through the Kaheera if I need to.
If I decide to play that, yep, I like that.
There's no real need for me to play the Shadow Sphere now because it equips it and gets cast at instant speed. Oh, you have to ferry.
Mm-hmm. I'll save you from the echoing red dots you see on Arena.
Still don't think there's a need for that.
I've done that against Narset so many times.
Actually,
have you? Yeah. Who hasn't?
I am going to play Shadow Sphere. Okay. It'll get equipped to the Stoneforge. Sure. Pass the turn.
All right, I'll draw.
Okay.
And I will take up. I will brainstorm. I think I'll put this away. I'll put this one away. And I will say go. This game is way more fun than the other games.
Core Duelist.
Okay.
Equip Shadow Sphere to the Duelist.
Okay.
Inkmoth Nexus.
Okay.
Pass the turn.
All right, I don't love that.
I've got threat in play, another threat in play that won't get Terminus.
Yep.
So Inkmoth was the ideal draw.
I will, at end step, I will take your Core Duelist. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Untap. Draw. I will tick up. Brainstorm. Put this here, and also one of these. I'll take 2.
12.
I'll attack for 2, gain 2.
4.
Or for 4? It does get pumped. I forgot about that. Yep.
Also, how does Lifelink work with...
It's still equipped until you unequip it.
Yeah, so it's equipped, but does Lifelink say that the controller of the equipped creature gains the life, or does the controller of the equipment gain the life?
I've never seen that.
It's an ability for the creature, so I assume you're gaining the life,
yeah,
but I'm not 100% sure.
I've never seen something work in the other fashion, you know?
So let's say we're both at 16.
Okay, sounds great. And I will pass to you.
It gives the ability to the creature, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The artifact could be re-equipped to you, of course, but...
I will play Lurrus.
Lurrus, that resolves.
I will play Swiftblade Vindicator.
Okay.
I will pass the turn.
All right, end step. I'm going to sack this to get this.
You're at 15. I think I just have to force the Terminus now.
Yep. I'm going to put Terminus on top. And then I'm going to Omen of the Sea. I don't want this bottom card. First card drawn for the turn. All right, there's one for you as well. Now I would assume this goes back onto your...
Well, it was always on my side.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay. And then I think I will also sack to scry.
Yep.
I'll keep one, bottom the other. Untap. Draw. All right, now let's bounce the aid. I'll brainstorm. I will put these back. Don't check that. Okay, sweet. And pass. Well, maybe I can play this turn. Yeah, okay, I'll play Kaheera. Pass to you. Companion in play. My win con.
Place a Garda's Aid.
I think I would like to counter that. I'll force that.
Okay. Place a Garda's Aid.
Guess I probably could have expected that to happen. So you have to play an equipment, right?
Yeah, it's when an equipment enters the battlefield. It's a triggered ability.
All right, that resolves.
So you have 4 in hand?
Yep.
Advantage pass.
Okay.
Because of the Teferi, I can't actually instant speed, so the blocker is getting in my way.
You can't?
Well, I can't cast things at instant speed with the aid, so if I go Nexus, cast the hammer is in my hand, and when it equips, it makes it loose flying, and you can just block.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And then it comes unattached.
Good call.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Teferi does make blockers.
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't want to do this.
Better.
Yep, no, that makes sense. Okay, untap. Draw.
You knew the top.
Yep. I will entreat the angels. How many do we want to do this for? I think all but one. So let's make 5 angels.
Treat is maybe a reason I want Giver instead of Spellskite, because it does get me through blockers.
For protection. We need one more. All right. So I got 5 of them. That was my draw. I'll go like this. I will brainstorm. Definitely want this. Don't want this. Don't want Omen. Put this. And attack for 3.
I'm at 13.
Your go. I just have 2 pass and a force negation. Can you get by it? Oh, and 5 angels.
Well, if your hand had nothing, I could have forced
If your hand had nothing after you've been brainstorming up Jace for the last 5 turns.
I could have forced 4 of the angels to die.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. Just actually block and take down the Inkmoth?
You wouldn't even take it down.
Yeah.
Because I have activate, play hammer, it equips, play magnetic theft, equip this other hammer, equip this shadow spear, and I could make a 22-point Inkmoth Nexus. But yeah, I can't beat another path. I was trying to find another Spellskite. and you even had force of negation for the magnetic theft.
Yeah. But hey, there's good news. We don't have time for a best of 5 with this. So you did break your streak. So congrats. All right. The long drought of the marbles being over. There's even a dust outline around it at this point.
That's because you don't take care of your half of the room.
Oh yeah, sure.
We've been having meetings about it, and we're all really upset.
I wasn't in those. So sorry, I didn't see them.
We're holding the intervention next week.
All right.
I wasn't supposed to tell you, but I couldn't resist daggering you live on air.
Dang it. Well, yeah, I mean, you have to take those opportunities anytime you can.
Exactly.
So that makes sense. But honestly, this deck looked really cool this time.
Yeah.
When I got to do my thing there, it was just a nice blue-white control deck. I never got to counterbalance, which is kind of frustrating.
But you did get to see the power of Mystic Sanctuary in that deck.
Yeah.
Rebuying Terminus is really, really powerful.
Yeah.
You found the window for you to land the Jace.
Yeah.
And that's really key for the deck. When you untap with Jace, it almost feels unlosable. Right.
And I mean, that's the case with basically every deck with Jace. Realistically, with just fetch lands and modern, Jace is so much more powerful. But yeah, still doesn't see too much play. 1 here, 2 there, and whatnot.
It's hard to find the that window to land it.
It is, yeah.
Very
and I
difficult.
mean, it's honestly a very low loyalty planeswalker for 4 mana. Oko is just over laughing at Jace, like, how many? You were once the best? Wow, laughable. Make a food.
When you have such a powerful instant speed sweeper in Terminus, when you combine it with ops and stuff, and you're setting up your library, then protecting Jace becomes so much easier.
Yeah, and Terminus in a Lurrus world is insane. Shutting down Lurrus, making Lurrus just a 3-mana 3/2 cat, it's not that scary anymore. Lurrus is not that scary when it's not returning, multiple creatures, and then you're able to unearth the Lurrus, in whatever deck that would play black and whatnot. Terminus really does change the dynamic of that a lot. So
the real power of that deck, I think, is in the white removal spells and counterbalance. You just didn't get to see it. And it really does build around those cards really well. It supplements them with cards that everybody else is playing because they're individually powerful. So there's no real sacrifice to get the counterbalance and Terminus to work in your deck. You have to play 2 more Jaces than you might otherwise in a control deck instead of other planeswalkers.
Instead of Teferi or
Jace is very good in your deck, so that's fine. That's probably the one sacrifice that you have to make. But every other card in the deck, Archmage's Charm, Logic Knot, Cryptic Command, Teferi, Opt, Omen of the Sea, these are cards that everybody wants to play with and is playing with anyway because they're just good. So it's just a good Azorius control deck. Probably the only fair deck that it technically plays a companion, but you saw Kaheera not really an important part of that game at all. And it rarely is. Sometimes it does, just come down and soak up a bolt or block something.
I would honestly rather cut the Kaheera and just splash green for Uro. You know? Like, it seems actually pretty good in this deck. We have so many fetch lands still.
Yeah.
Still a 3-drop, you know, that flips with force, and it's just a powerful creature that sometimes this deck is a little too one-dimensional. It's easy to take advantage of.
I could definitely see being a Bant Miracles deck with Ice Fang Quaddle and Uro, and then just playing Yorion.
Yeah.
Yorion
You got
Miracles,
it.
Baby.
You got it. I'm in.
Already sold Corey.
All right.
Guess we know what dropping bombs for next week is about.
Exactly. We sure do. All right, everyone. That is going to do it for round number 2 here. Ross takes down the marbles already, but that doesn't mean we don't have a super nice match plan for you for match 3. So enjoy it while you can. You get a nice de-stressed match.
It's going to be a nice weekend. I'm going to sleep easy.
Yeah, you sure will. But we'll be right back after 5 minutes here for round number 3 on Versus Live.